Hi, this is Homefront Headlines with the Ken Harbaugh Show. We are wrapping up this week's events. Have a glass of wine with us and let's chat about what happened, because every week in politics seems to be the most exciting week ever. What's going on this week?
First of all, I'm opening up my Diet Coke because it's almost afternoon.
You need some caffeine.
I need some caffeine. This week has felt like someone reminded me of a conversation that I had with them, and I was like, was that this week? It felt like weeks ago, but it was Monday.
I can't keep track of time anymore.
It was Monday.
It was yesterday or a month ago. I really can't tell. But the Springfield thing seems like it has been going on for a while. That started with a wild accusation that J.D. Vance seems to be desperately saying is legit. Actually talking to a woman who has apologized for even mentioning something about her cat, who ended up being in her basement. The cat was just in her basement.
The Cincinnati Enquirer did a really good timeline of how this thing blew up and how it jumped from a single Facebook post in a group. Oh, hold on. Wait, hold on a second. We've got a phone call here. Let's see who this is.
From Ken Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Ken, it's Casey and Amanda with Homefront Headlines on the Ken Harbaugh Show.
Wow, what a coincidence. I caught you in the middle of the show.
How'd you know?
Are you in Ukraine?
Yes, we are about to wrap. It's been an extraordinary trip. Sorry, I haven't been more productive with the videos, but it has just been nonstop. And this Ukrainian team I'm with, at times I felt like it's hard for me to hear these stories. Like just an hour ago, I sat with a father from Lviv who lost his wife and 3 daughters in a single strike, and that's it. That's his whole family. They were doing what they were supposed to during an air raid in a stairwell between 2 solid walls, and the Russian missile hit right there as he was running downstairs to check on something, and he was the only one survived. And it was tough to get through that interview, but looking at my Ukrainian team and imagining what it must be like to hear the stories of your countrymen going through this, I'm just my heart is pretty heavy right now. It's one of the questions I asked him was, can you forgive America for not being there the way we need to be? At this moment, that's kind of what I feel like. America should be doing far, far more to protect people like that.
Agree. And you just see what happens when we aren't there to unite with the rest of the world and talk about what is wrong, and what happens when you have these dictators and strongman leaders are allowed to just do whatever they want.
There's a vacuum, and someone's going to fill it, right? And write the rules for the rest of the world.
Well, do whatever the hell they want is actually a direct quote. It is Trump's invitation to Putin to do whatever the hell he wants in Ukraine and beyond. We came through Poland, of course. Beyond includes NATO countries, right? It includes Poland. It includes the Latvia and Estonia and Lithuania. I mean, Ukraine is just their first stop. And I think, I know the Ukrainians get that, and the rest of America needs to understand it.
Well, that goes back to the stakes of this election and a question of whether America will remain a leader in the world or not. It does. Yeah. So, Ken, it's amazing that you've gone over there, man. And my brother joined you, which was pretty amazing for him, and he's, I know, been profoundly impacted by the trip. But you're somebody who literally walks the walk, man. We appreciate it, what you're doing, and I know that's been an amazing experience for you. But proud to call you a friend.
Yeah. Thanks, Casey and Amanda both. I'm going to send you if it hasn't sent already, a short video of our team war dog, a little puppy that we picked up on the journey. If you can share that with the audience, I think it might be a little bit uplifting in this time of just deep deep sorrow. It's tough here.
We'll definitely share that. It's so important to be able to find the spots of hope, because without hope, there is no action, and we need action right now.
We do. Thanks, guys. I'll be back soon.
Be safe, Ken. Thank you.
See you soon.
See you soon. You bet. Bye.
God, man, Ken is just a dude who just does what he says he's going to do, follows through. It's just, it's awesome. He's a great example of a veteran who's still serving.
It's a stark reminder of what happens when we don't pay attention to the language that our leaders are saying and what they are inciting. And when we don't care about, honestly, authoritarianism and what that looks like for real people. And in Ukraine right now, as you just heard, what that means is that their families are dying, that they are fighting every day for their families. And it won't stop at Ukraine if we let them take Ukraine. It won't stop there. It will continue, right? This is very much, a World War II scenario.
If we had not engaged in World War II and just said, let him go. Hitler can do whatever he wants. Imagine our world today if America had not shown up and shown in force, and then won and been able to write the rules for democracy and freedom and, for the decades that have followed and the unbelievable prosperity that has followed worldwide. It's just a stark reminder. And Ken's been sending us updates, and man, I'm just proud of the
work he's doing. But you also see what the real toll is on families, that there is a cost of extremism. And actually, on our podcast at Red, Wine, and Blue, the Suburban Women Problem, we had a series on the cost of extremism. It's not just rhetoric, right? And Springfield, Ohio is just the most recent example where their rhetoric has led to Nazis coming into that community. It has led to their schools being closed. It has led to bomb threats. It has led to devastating effects on the community. And it is encouraging to see people stand up to this, and even our own governor stand up to this with an op-ed today.
Governor DeWine, a Republican, has an op-ed in the New York Times really refuting J.D. Vance and Donald Trump's characterization of Springfield and what he's seeing as a resident. I mean, he lives minutes away from Springfield, as we did. We lived in a little town called Enon, Ohio, which was about 15 minutes from downtown Springfield. So, the governor shared his thoughts, and I think it was really important that a sitting governor, Republican, is providing, a reality check. Because people could get hurt, and J.D. Vance just keeps doubling down, tripling down. He will not back down from this lie.
No, he has no experience governing. So let's be this clear. Governor DeWine is governor. He actually has a lot of experience governing. And you see the stark contrast between a politician with vast experience governing and a politician, J.D. Vance, without any real experience in governing, right? It turns everything into chaos. And that is the same with Trump. Trump had no experience in governing. He had a lot of experience in bankruptcies.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that that's something that is great on the resume.
Meanwhile, J.D. Vance has this massive platform, and he's using it to attack and incite hatred against his own constituents in Springfield, Ohio.
Yeah. Let's stop there. Let's talk about what the job of a senator is. Yeah. Their job is to represent, his job, J.D. Vance's job is to represent all Ohioans. You don't get to pick which Ohioans you represent.
Yeah. No.
They're your boss, but all of them.
As Kamala Harris said, they look for opportunities to divide. They saw an opportunity to whip up hatred. So I'm thankful for Governor DeWine speaking out, and providing a really important counterweight to just brazen lies. And now Trump says he's coming to Springfield, and they're just,
please don't.
Yeah. The mayor asked them not to, because he knows what's going to come with this, which is
it's not good.
Another round.
Everything Trump touches turns to the opposite of gold.
Yeah.
I don't
know. But anyways, ending on a positive note on that side, we appreciate the governor stepping in there. And by the way, we're matching today. Twinsies.
I know we didn't coordinate. I think I got dressed first. Who got dressed first?
We did.
I'm going to claim it was me. I don't know.
Okay.
It's all right. I like the blue. The blue is
Blue's a good color.
Let's face it, blue's a great color here.
It's a little baby Diet Coke. This is the size Amanda gets.
You don't want too much caffeine.
I don't know. One coffee in the morning, one Diet Coke in the afternoon. It's fine. Gets me through the day.
No, I mean, you're going to need that when you hear about North Carolina.
Well, before North Carolina, I thought we were going to have a sort of chill morning, but our son's teacher texted to say he had blown up a squishy thing had exploded all over him.
Oh,
so I had to.
That is actually a good segue to North Carolina, because that squishy blowing up all over you is essentially what happened to a politician in North Carolina.
Yeah.
What did he do exactly?
Well, Mark Robinson, who is the most extreme and therefore got the nomination for the Republican MAGA governor of North Carolina and is currently running, has a long history of really inflammatory statements. But this headline of, Black Nazi on a porn site, and that was just like the start. Ooh. He talked about reinstating slavery and wanting to buy slaves. He managed to talked about abortions, something which he publicly opposes. He talked about snooping on peeping on women in a locker room, and repeatedly doing that. I mean, this is like almost super a perfect MAGA.
Pro-family. I love it. The pro-family party of porn sites and peeping on women, peeping toms.
Yeah.
Porn and peeping toms. That's your GOP, folks.
They're having a little buyer's remorse. But I saw some amazing tweets.
They are with JD Vance too.
Yeah. Well, I saw some
buyer's remorse there.
Some great tweets saying, sorry, North Carolina GOP, you have to carry Mark Robinson to term. But the interesting thing is he was already struggling because of how extreme he is. Now this is really got his campaign on the edge of whether or not he's going to drop out. And it's a critical swing state.
He was already struggling because of how extreme he is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but there's just something that's going to be creepy or weird or off when people are that extreme. You just got to scratch the surface a little bit and you find porn and peeping toms for those extremists out there.
And he showed up on Ashley Madison's website, this family values guy, in addition to Chris Rufo, I guess. Apparently.
Oh, yeah, Chris Rufo. If you don't know who this guy is, you should definitely Google him. He is very into CRT, and actually the person who brought CRT into the headlines. When we think about critical race theory and all of the crazy things we heard about that in our schools, Chris Rufo, we have to thank for that. Basically, crazy headlines, now super into higher ed, I hear. But also, this guy and his conservative values has a wife who's an undocumented immigrant, and also on Ashley Madison. Again, the party of
hypocrisy.
Oh, yeah, the party of hypocrisy.
Absolute
family
hypocrisy.
Values.
The loudest voices. You just, take it to the bank. So a little bit of a double headline, whammy. But Mark Robinson, this story on CNN that they broke, oh my God, like popcorn eating, reading, just in terms of like who they are stuck with on the ballot. And ballots go out today, so it's too late to take his name out. So they're stuck with him. So that's going to be interesting to see if he drags down other candidates in North Carolina.
Why do we care so much about North Carolina? Why do we keep talking about North Carolina?
Because North Carolina is one of the 3 tipping point states. It's like Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina, maybe Arizona are almost the whole ball game in this thing, outside of the states that each candidate has to win. So now, like, you've got this albatross of, I don't know what you call him, Mark Robinson, a Black Nazi who is a self-described Black Nazi who's like an anchor on Trump in North Carolina. And that is such a huge deal coming into the home stretch of the election. So,
yeah. I mean, so this affects the federal election, and all of this is going to affect the down ballot in North Carolina.
It's all very karmic because people knew how extreme Mark Robinson won. And then he was the most MAGA, embraced Trump. So he won the primary, came out. And now he's so extreme that he may cost them and Trump the state. So it's full circle moment.
It's great.
Politics.
But on a positive note, fabulous event between Kamala Harris and Oprah Winfrey, which they brought out real stories, not talking points, not fake headlines, not stories they created like JD Vance. They brought out real people speaking for themselves about their stories of a loved one, Amber Thurman, dying because she couldn't access abortion care. Stories about a child dying in a shooting in Georgia. Real stories that really affect people that are the result of bad policies of someone with no governing experience, which would be Donald Trump.
Right. I mean, it's so powerful seeing the people themselves. It's not even the candidate sharing the stories. They're elevating the people. And I thought it was pretty brilliant because the whole setup was like Oprah's talk show, which speaks
we all miss Oprah a little bit. Let's just admit it.
Oprah has not aged
kind of miss
today.
that talk show. At least I do.
Oprah looks great, is great. It's like she has not skipped a beat. And she was back there in Michigan, this critical battleground. They had the governor there, Gretchen Whitmer, who's amazing. I mean, they had the A-list of A-list celebrities also, but just sharing, like being real people and voters, not there as their celebrity self, but there as a voter with real questions and concerns and anxieties like we all have. And it was like an old school Oprah show, but like right on point in elevating the people who have been victims of Trump's policies and connecting them to voters. That was just brilliant.
Yep. What his policies have done and will be even worse given Project 2025. And in stark contrast to what a presidency with Kamala Harris at the helm would look like, reversing those policies and putting in policies that address the actual issues families have. It's just a stark contrast. And it was so nice to see, all with Oprah on TV, who we miss.
Such a stark choice we face. And that really hit home for me again. I mean, Ken talking to us about what American policy means in Ukraine, where he is there, seeing it. What like, should we lead the free world, or should we allow Russia and China to do that now? Because that's what's at stake. Who should write the rules for the next century? Who should write the rules of the world for our kids? I believe it should be American and our allies, American leadership doing that. So like this truly has global implications. I was speaking at Kent State last night, and students were asking, like, how do we tell, the students there were pretty plugged in, but how do we tell our fellow students the stakes? I'm like, there may have been a time where, a John McCain versus Barack Obama wouldn't have changed the entire world because they were both actually statesmen who cared about American leadership. Now the post-Trump, you see how stark the changes in the world can be with a different president. And there's no excuse not to get out there and vote for domestic policy for literally the entire world. No pressure, but that's what's at stake.
Yep. I mean, that's a great place to leave us off. That important things at stake. And we're going to leave you with a video of Ken Harbaugh over in Ukraine. Thanks for joining us today. On a positive
note, with an adorable puppy. Bye, everybody. See you next week.
We're on our last day. Wow. We're on our last day in Ukraine, and we found ourselves a war dog. I don't know why I'm feeling the way I am, except yesterday in that schoolyard, we saw the remains of a dog that had been killed by the Russians. I'm not going to share that. But, I guess life finds a way, and I'm thinking of my kids right now. Should we name her?
Yeah. Gina.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.